All right, a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us for this particular session, which is on performance monitoring. This is the fifth session of the six-part series on advancing growth for family-owned businesses and private companies during COVID and beyond. And I'm joined by my dear friend and associate Raj Gandhi, and we are here to share with you valuable insights on what you really need to do in your business to move forward. And today's session is all about performance monitoring. It is so important to have the right oversight mechanisms in organizations. And one of the key reasons why organizations struggle is because they do not have enough oversight mechanisms in their organizations. So I'll start off by asking you, Raj, what's your take when it comes to performance monitoring? What is your experience? What do you see are some of the gaps when it comes to this performance monitoring? So over to you, Raj.
Oh, thank you, Vijay, and welcome, everyone. As you probably noticed, if you've had a chance to look at the past videos, there is a recurring theme here about the need to strategize, the need to make sure that we know who the stakeholders are, decision making, and really, so what's happening in this particular episode is all those things culminating into a performance report, in a sense, and it's telling the boardrooms how well we're doing. Now, the gap and the challenge that I see currently is that people look at performance measurement and say, let's look at past accounts, or let's look at what's our profit before tax, or any other measure you're interested in. But that's not really the full story. There are much more deeper questions here, which people haven't really invested time on. And so here, the whole debate about going digital. Digital really means here that with so much information that's at our disposal, how can we refine and get the things that really matter in front of us? So that's one thing. And then how do we get it on time to us, such that we can make timely decisions that really have a impact going forward. So when we talk about performance measurement, it's not just about past performance. There is an eye on the forward as well, the future. And let's not, ignore what the strategy is about, or what's the vision or the mission trying to tell us what to do. And so when we think about gaps and the challenges, we use incremental budgeting, which is really based on past performance, and it really doesn't cut it in today's world. And some companies don't even do forecasting, so they lose sight, visibility, and those who do it, forecasting, may only do it to the end of the year. Well, look, the world doesn't stop at the end of the financial year, so I think we need to think about a rolling forecast, which gives us visibility of likely performance in the future. So there's so much things going on here, I just thought I'd pick up on those themes, and then I'm sure I'll come back to something else. You asked me about my experience. That's the gaps I'm seeing out there, Vijay. What about you?
Yes. So here's what I see. First and foremost, is that at board level there is not very robust systems in place, scheduling and systems in place. And, when it comes to these oversight mechanisms, there's a lot of missing links. And I'll give you an example here. There was in one particular organization, the board, there was an expectation which was set. So it could be a quarterly sort of result we were expecting. And what happened is that when the CEO reported with two of his head of other departments, when they reported back, there were a lot of I shouldn't use the word excuse, but there was a lot of confusion which came out rather than the expectations, and that led to them being given more time. If you see where I'm coming from, the traction was not there, and the key point which we picked up was the leadership, the level of leadership capability required was not present, Raj. And this is one true brutal truth, which I'm just sharing with you. There are many other stories which I can share. And here's something I want to share with you, Raj, is that here's some solution. If you have some policies in place, if you work with a certain guideline with parameters as well, we'll be talking about risk mitigation in the last session of this 6-part series. But here's something that I want to share with you, that if you have good governing policies and good structures in place with proper schedules, and there are 4 components, 4 parts to monitoring, which you have to take into consideration. And this has really worked well for the organizations which I serve. So the first thing is that when you get a report, a monitoring report, the board accepts it. So you'd say, all right, fine, this information, this is, it's satisfactory and we accept this. The second is to ask for more information, which is quite common, that you would say that, look, in order for us to be satisfied, we need some more information. The third is one of the board members with the domain expert or with that expertise goes personally to verify to make sure that it is proper. And the fourth one is what is getting an external person to come and check it out and vet it and give their opinion. These are the 4 elements of monitoring which are extremely powerful. But here's one more point I want to add to this, Raj, and that is once you get your monitoring report, you go back to your policy, tweak your outcomes or tweak your expectations to suit to the new needs and the new behaviors or whatever you've picked up. So it's always like you're having live policies. Raj, I know you must be knowing that I'm a policy governance consultant, and under 300 worldwide. And this is one of the system-based approach which I use partly in many boards. I use the traditional governance mechanisms as well, but I bridge it with this particular radically powerful model, the policy governance model, which changes the game for many organizations. So I just wanted to share those perspectives, Raj. Anything else that you like to add to what I've said?
Yeah, I think it's good to sum up what are the key aspects of what good performance reporting looks like. And you've touched on some of these already. One is have an outcome-driven budget. Outcome meaning what your strategy wants you to do. Have an event-driven forecast, a rolling forecast. Event meaning anything that's happened which is significant since your budgeting sign-off, So that gives a regular update of what the outturn might look like for your performance period. I think that's very important. And then I think we need to add some intelligence to reporting. And so what does that mean? It means a forward-looking perspective, give the boardrooms alerts to action, give them ideas of things that are happening, trending out there, which may require them to make a decision. And then as you get closer to that point, give them a call to action, because then they know they have to really do something about this. Give them the backdrop, give them the benchmarking, what's competition doing, any reference prices. Maybe your business is exposed to the price of oil, what's happening in the price of oil, because that sets the scene for your performance. So there's a lot of ideas that I discuss with my clients, and the very, very much all ears when we talk about this point, because it's a culmination of so much good governance that's preceding performance reporting, So I hope that helps, and I think it's good to sum up in that way, Vijay.
Thank you very much, Raj. So just to wrap this session on performance monitoring, it's very important to make sure that it is attention driven. There's more attention given to the performance itself, and just like what Raj mentioned about the financials and the budgets as well, and going forward, looking into the forward turning points and catalysts in your particular business, and what you really need to do to connect the dots as you move forward. So it's very important to make sure that performance monitoring it plays one of the most critical parts, especially during COVID and beyond as well, because that is going to really ascertain and determine the sustainability, the growth, the scalability of your particular organization. So, my dear friends, thank you very much for joining us for this particular session on performance monitoring. In the next session, we are going to share with you something on risk mitigation. And this is so powerful as well. Raj and we are going to give you some more value nuggets for you to take home and use it in your organization. And at any point, if you want an exploratory session or if you just want a dialogue with Raj and me, feel free to reach out to us. Our links for LinkedIn are below this video. Just get in touch with us. And if you missed any of the previous videos in our series, all the links are below. But if you get in touch with this or connect with us on LinkedIn, it will be on our LinkedIn feeds, and you can feel free to watch all of the whole series. So thank you very much. Raj and we look forward to seeing you in the final session of this 6-part series. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, everyone.